Samsung has finally put the Ultra name on a foldable, and that name creates a very high bar. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra starts at 1,99,999 rupees in India. That is laptop money, tablet money, and flagship phone money combined. So the real question is not whether this is Samsung's most impressive foldable. On paper, it clearly is. The question is whether one device can genuinely replace enough of your other screens to justify the price. The first argument in its favor is the hardware. Folded, this behaves like a conventional premium phone with a 6.5-inch Full HD Plus cover display. Open it, and you get an 8-inch QXGA Plus canvas. Both are dynamic AMOLED 2X panels with adaptive refresh rates from 1 to 120 Hz. That matters because a foldable only works when the outside screen is useful enough for quick tasks, and the inside screen gives you a compelling reason to unfold it. Samsung has also attacked the traditional weakness of book-style foldables: bulk. The Fold 8 Ultra measures 8.9 millimeters when closed, 4.1 millimeters when open, and weighs 215 grams. That is a remarkable engineering result for a device with two displays, a hinge, and a 5,000 mAh battery. It is still a large phone, but it should no longer feel like a small tablet brick living in your pocket. The new Flex titanium display structure is designed to support a thinner body, absorb pressure and impact, and reduce the visibility of the crease over time. Samsung has also tuned the hinge tension, magnets, and display movement to make opening the device feel more natural. Those are encouraging changes, but durability claims deserve patience. A launch specification cannot tell us how the crease, hinge, and inner screen will look after months of dust, heat, and repeated folding. The IP48 rating is another mixed result. The 8 means strong water protection under Samsung's laboratory conditions, but the 4 provides only limited protection against larger solid particles. This is not a dust-proof phone, and Samsung does not recommend beach or pool use. At this price, buyers should budget for Samsung Care Plus and treat the exposed inner display with more care than a conventional slab phone. Visually, the main display should be one of the device's strongest features. It reaches up to 3,000 nits, includes Vision Booster, and uses a low-reflection finish. The 8-inch near-square workspace is not just about making video bigger. Its real value appears when 2 or 3 apps share the screen: a browser beside Notes, a call beside a document, or editing controls beside a preview. That is where the Ultra name begins to make sense. The proportions also reduce the compromises of older foldables. The cover display is wide enough to act like a normal phone rather than an emergency control panel, while the inner display is large enough to change how you work. That continuity matters. If basic replies and navigation constantly force you to unfold, the device becomes tiring. If the inner display does not transform difficult tasks, the hinge becomes unnecessary. The Ultra aims to make both states complete. Performance comes from Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy, paired with 12 GB of memory on the 2 lower storage models and 16 GB on the 1 TB version. The chip should have ample headroom for gaming, video editing, and multi-window workloads. Samsung has also expanded the graphite cooling structure, which is important because a thin foldable has less physical room to move heat away from the processor. We still need independent, sustained performance tests before calling it a gaming champion, but the platform is appropriately ambitious. The software may be more important than the processor. Android 17 and One UI 9 are built around Galaxy AI and Gemini Intelligence. The large screen can display multiple apps, while Now Nudge suggests relevant actions. A message about dinner, for example, can lead into a calendar action without forcing you through a chain of app switches. Gemini can work with screen or image context, and supported automation extends across dozens of applications and services. Gemini Notebook is particularly well matched to this device. It can organize notes, images, recordings, and documents, then turn those materials into summaries or other structured outputs. The impressive part is not merely that artificial intelligence exists on the phone. It is that the foldable screen gives you enough room to review the source, inspect the output, and continue working without constantly covering one thing with another. The caution is that AI features can depend on accounts, connectivity, language, region, and future service terms. Some will be genuinely useful, Others may remain occasional demonstrations. Buy this phone for the display, cameras, and multitasking it delivers today. Then treat evolving AI features as an extra rather than the foundation of the purchase. Privacy deserves equal weight. Contextual assistants become more useful as they see more of your messages, documents, and routines. Samsung highlights transparency, user control, and enhanced privacy alerts. But buyers should still review permissions, decide which cloud features they trust, and disable access that is not needed. Convenience should never make every permission automatic. The camera system makes the Fold 8 Ultra much closer to Samsung's slab-style Ultra phones. The rear setup includes a 200-megapixel main camera with optical stabilization, a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. The 200-megapixel mode now supports high dynamic range, while the ultra-wide can handle detailed wide scenes and macro photography. Improved nightography targets brighter low-light photos and videos. Creators also get 8K video using Samsung's new APV codec and Cine LUT controls for shaping color and tone. Those features sound specialized because they are. Most people will get more value from using the cover screen as a preview, framing high-quality selfies with the rear cameras, and editing on the large internal display. Professionals should verify how APV footage fits their editing software, storage workflow, and export pipeline before making it central to a production setup. There are 10-megapixel cameras on both the cover and main displays. They are useful for calls and quick captures, but the rear cameras remain the reason to buy the Ultra. The 3 times telephoto is welcome, although buyers expecting the most extreme zoom system in every Samsung Ultra should note that this is still a foldable first camera design. Battery capacity is 5,000 mAh, supported by 45-watt wired charging, 20-watt wireless charging, and wireless power share. Samsung says the phone can reach up to 67% in around 30 minutes under its laboratory conditions, but the adapter is sold separately. The dual-path charging architecture is intended to distribute power more efficiently and improve charging stability. 5,000 mAh is reassuring, yet the 8-inch display, powerful chip, bright panels, cameras, and AI workloads can all consume significant energy. Real endurance will depend heavily on how often the phone is unfolded and what you do with it. A user spending the day in documents may see a very different result from someone gaming, recording 8K video, or using navigation. Until independent tests exist, call the battery promising rather than proven. The same caution applies to accessories. A protective case can change how a thin foldable feels, and a separate 45-watt adapter raises the true purchase cost. Check whether the case interferes with wireless charging, adds wobble around the large camera island, or makes the folded phone meaningfully thicker. The engineering achievement matters most when the complete everyday setup remains comfortable. Connectivity is flagship level with 5G, Wi-Fi 7, and Bluetooth 6. Storage begins at 256 gigabytes, but creators should seriously consider 512 gigabytes. The 1 terabyte model adds 16 gigabytes of memory, but rises to 2,59,999 rupees. Cloud storage helps, but high-resolution photos and advanced video formats can fill local space quickly. The Fold 8 Ultra comes in graphite, cream, and violet shadow, with green shadow sold as a Samsung.com exclusive. Graphite is the safest professional choice and should hide visual distractions around the camera hardware. Cream gives the large device a lighter, cleaner appearance. Violet shadow is the signature option if you want the Ultra to look distinctive without becoming overly bright, while green shadow offers the most unusual finish, but may be harder to inspect in person before ordering. Color availability varies by market and channel, and every finish will spend much of its life inside a case. Compare the color with the case you intend to use, especially around the exposed camera island and hinge, before paying extra or choosing an online exclusive model. There are also useful ecosystem improvements. Smart Switch can simplify migration from an iPhone, and Samsung says QuickShare can now exchange files with compatible Apple devices. That reduces one of the practical barriers for mixed device families and creative teams. As always, compatibility and availability can change, so check the supported software versions before relying on it. The buying decision is surprisingly clear. Choose the Fold 8 Ultra if you routinely work across multiple apps, review documents on the move, edit content, run presentations, or want a phone that can replace a small tablet for meaningful parts of the day. It is also the Fold 8 to choose if camera flexibility matters, and you do not want to accept the standard Fold8's lack of a dedicated telephoto. Do not choose it simply because it is the most expensive Samsung. If your work happens mainly on a laptop and your phone is used for messaging, social media, and casual photography, most of this hardware will remain folded and underused. A Galaxy S26 Ultra will be simpler and likely more reassuring around dust, while the standard Fold8 offers the foldable experience for 20,000 rupees less. The Galaxy Z Fold8 Ultra is not automatically the best phone for everyone. It is a specialist device that has become dramatically easier to carry. Its thin design, 8-inch display, serious camera system, and productivity software create a convincing all-in-one tool. Its price, limited dust protection, and still unproven long-term durability keep it from being a universal recommendation. The verdict is this: for mobile professionals and creators who can replace real tablet or laptop tasks with the inner display, the Fold8 Ultra is Samsung's most complete foldable yet. For everyone else, it is an extraordinary piece of engineering that may solve problems they do not actually have.